Think of the children. It's a phrase we hear all of the time. But are you thinking of your children? Hi, I'm Steve, the dean here at Greendale College, a place where your kids can learn valuable skills such as teamwork.
All right, bro. If you get this last ball in, we win.
He really did put the team on his back.
Business skills.
Are you kidding me? There's no way textbooks are that expensive. That's... What was that term my professor taught us today? Gouging! That's friggin' price gouging!
And job prospects. So, tell me about your career after attending Greendale College.
What career? So, I've actually gone back to school for another degree.
Another one? Wow. Why?
Well, all the jobs I was applying for required several years of experience on top of a degree, and I don't have any.
I see. So, how will this next degree get you that experience? Okay, please tell me you got a job. I need something to work with here.
Yeah,
Great. Where?
Northwestern Mutual.
Ah,
Do you need a second opinion on your finances?
no. You know what? I think we're actually done here.
Wait.
Everybody, that's a wrap.
Come on, bro, man. I just need one more mutual fund to hit my target.
I'm back, baby. You can tell I'm a bit rusty here getting back into the swing of things. You know, I really wanted to come back with a skit where I reenacted the scene from John Wick where he was like,
People keep asking me if I'm coming back, and I haven't really had an answer. But now, yeah, I'm thinking I'm back.
but I wasn't gone that long. It's really not that dramatic. It's a sick line though. I really do love me some Keanu Reeves. Anyway, it's nice to be back. I missed you guys and gals. Let's talk about college. So, I want this video to serve as a perspective that I wish I was aware of when I was thinking about going to college or university. When I graduated from high school, I had absolutely no idea what I wanted to do or who I wanted to be. And I certainly was not ready to decide on a path for the next 4 years of my life that would dictate the entire rest of my life. It's insane to me that we do that to 17 and 18-year-olds. And in fact, I think it's an archaic relic of an industrial era that we no longer live in. But nonetheless, I ended up going off to university like a little fish following the school because I felt immense societal pressure, and honestly, I didn't perceive any suitable alternatives. And so I found myself here at the University of Guelph, where I was set to study neuroscience. Yup, you heard that right, neuroscience. And yep, I am here back at my old campus at U of G, and specifically right now, I'm actually in the Arboretum, which is this really cool forest. And you know what? I'm actually going to show you around a little bit inside. So the Arboretum at the University of Guelph is essentially this big, gigantic forest. And it's not just a normal forest. It's basically like a library of trees that they've created. It's kind of a man-made natural thing where they have planted a whole bunch of different species of trees so that different programs like things like landscape architecture can come out here, and instead of going to like a standard book library, they can come to this library of trees and study how all the trees actually look. I'll show you. So many of the trees have this little plaque in front of them that tells you exactly what type of tree it is. So you can see here that we are standing in front of a Shumard oak, and then it has its little Latin name as well that students often have to learn. So it's really super cool, and there's just plaques all over this place describing what all the different trees are. Such a good idea. So I know neuroscience might seem random relative to what I'm doing right now, creating videos about personal finance, but it's really not. I'm actually just as interested in the mind and consciousness as I am in money. Perhaps even more, actually. But as some of you will know who've already been to university, your interests may not exactly align with how a career actually turns out to be. So it was partway through my first lecture on my way to a degree in neuroscience that I noped out of there. Straight up, I just walked out partway through the lecture, and I honestly do not have a rational explanation for that I can give you. The only thing I can really say is that it just felt incredibly wrong to be there. And one thing I've noticed ever since becoming self-employed is that more often than not, my gut is actually right compared to my head. It kind of reminds me of that song from Pocahontas.
Listen with your heart, you will understand.
Ah, that's a great soundtrack. Played that all day back on our trip to Banff. But in all seriousness, I was now in a bit of a tricky spot, and that's because I had realized that I didn't want to dedicate my life to neuroscience. And on top of that, I honestly wasn't sure that university was the right place for me. So I ended up just defaulting to a path of security. I had been accepted to a few other schools to study their accounting program. So I thought, you know what? I'm just gonna stay at Guelph and then study that here instead. Yep, accounting, income statements, balance sheets, cash flow statements. Don't even get me started on the statement of changes in equity. Riveting stuff. I spent a lot of time in this building right here, Rosansky Hall, or ROS-H as we like to call it. But here's the thing, while accounting is definitely not the most sexy subject out there, it's actually a really valuable degree. And if you're thinking about getting into accounting, then definitely, by all means, go study at college or university, and then after that, get your CPA designation. It's very, very valuable, and you can build a really good career off of that. You see, contrary to the title of this video, I'm not saying as a blanket statement to never go to college or university. Au contraire, it actually makes a ton of sense if you want to study something or pursue something very specialized such as accounting. You pretty much have to go to college or university to do that. But if you're thinking about going because you don't know what else to do, don't. Just don't, okay? These next 2, 3, 4 years of your life are going to be so incredibly valuable and important for you. Let me show you just how important. See that church right there? I didn't know it at the time, but that church would start a domino effect, which would ultimately lead me to be in this place in front of you today. This is one of the first photographs I ever took. I picked up a camera for the first time while I was here in university, and I fell deeply, deeply in love. This church sits towering above one of the main streets of downtown Guelph, practically begging to be photographed. It was an obvious subject. But then I started seeing the world in a new way, and it felt as though everything was begging to be photographed. Anything could be special with the right perspective. I didn't realize it at the time, but what I was doing with my camera would turn out to be far more important to me than what I was learning in class. These few years of your life can be so formative, so instructive of how the rest of your life will unfold. I believe you'd be doing yourself a great disservice if you did not use them to explore what calls to you with the utmost fervor and tenacity. The world has changed a great deal in a short period of time. Our education system has not. We're no longer cogs of a great industrial machine needing to be pushed through level after level of obedience-based indoctrination designed to churn out a complacent workforce. Technology has disrupted almost every industry imaginable. The most successful companies of tomorrow, and today for that matter, won't give a damn about whether you can recite the bolded words from an overpriced textbook or circle the right answer on a multiple choice test. They'll care about what you can actually do. Yes, doctors, lawyers, accountants, and many other specialized professions require a standardized education protocol. This makes sense. But spending 4 years working for a diploma you didn't want with $60,000 that you don't have, trying to acquire experience that you can't get? Does this make sense? Between the ages of 18 and 22, I learned 5 skills: photography, filmmaking, personal finance, financial independence, and accounting. 4 of these skills I taught myself, and they have become the most valuable skills I have ever learned. One of these skills I learned in school and I haven't used since. Can you guess which is which?